What's up everybody, it is I, Hero Vange, and welcome to another Pokemon Go PvP Kingdom Cup video. Okay, so let's get into the battles. Now today, we're gonna talk about something that is very important to the planet Earth. We're gonna talk about cleaning up, and the best way to clean up in the Kingdom Cup is with our boy, Lucario, okay? If you wanna take out the trash, you know, Lucario's your guy. If you wanna wipe out your opponents, alright, okay? If you wanna scrub them clean, okay? Cause he's a sweeper, you know what I mean? No? Okay, I get it, I'll stop, alright? But he is the dominant sweeping force of the Kingdom Cup. But you need finesse to use him properly for him to lead you to victory. It's not just like plop him on the battlefield and herder to victory. It's not like that because he's very squishy. And so, let's talk about it. How do you set up Lucario for the sweep, for the win? Alright, so as you can see, I've got him here set up as the lead. And that's actually one of the positions that you kind of like want to experiment with. Don't do it all the time, but that is a favorable position for Lucario. Why? Because he deals most of his damage with the fast attacks, plus, you know, power up punch, his charge attack works. It powers him up even though your opponent shields it, right? Another reason why you want him as the lead is because you have shields, and you definitely want shields on Lucario. A naked Lucario, a shieldless Lucario is a dead Lucario. And also, very important to note that in the back, I've got a Alolan Ninetales as my Lucario bodyguard. Now, Bastiodon is hands down the best anti-Lucario, alright? It's the best bodyguard for Lucario, but at this time I didn't have it set up, and I also know that this person heavily favors Altaria as the Lucario counter, and so Alolan Ninetales. But if you have Bastiodon, alright, okay. And last but not the least, still very important to have, is your very own anti-Lucario Pokemon, because you don't want to go Lucario versus Lucario. That's a stupid matchup. That's just stupid. That's not good, okay? So don't do that. Anti-Lucario Pokemon, the one that I chose for this matchup is Altaria. And the reason why is because even though there are better choices, there are Pokemon that can handle Lucario much better, like Blastburn Charizard and Alolan Marowak. One, I didn't have Alolan Marowak set up at this time, but you know, he's good. I like him, alright? And Blastburn Charizard is a lot more specialized to Lucario, and Altaria kind of has like better matchups with the general metagame. Okay, that's why I chose Altaria. Let's see how we do. So we start the match off with Lucario, and he starts off with Melmetal. This is a favorable matchup. I'm gonna turn that thing into scrap metal. He swaps in his Lucario, and this is gonna emphasize the point that I told you earlier. Lucario versus Lucario is a stupid idea, alright? So anyways, I'm not gonna shield right there because it's a waste of time, right? If I shielded there, we probably would have like simultaneous KO'd. Anyways, I kill his Lucario with my Altaria. He swaps in his Lapras, which is a Frost Breath Lapras, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here, okay? So I swap in my Alolan Ninetales, which is kind of like, it's a better matchup compared to Altaria, but it's not the best, right? But you know, it is what it is. If I had Bastiodon, that would have been fantastic, but you know, I didn't have him set up, alright? But anyways, my Alolan Ninetales is going to be able to bring this Lapras like down, like really low right there. But I don't want to waste all the shields because I know that the last Pokemon is Melmetal. See, the thing is, if I had swapped right away into Altaria, right, my Lucario probably would have swept the rest of his team. That's the point of this fight right here, okay? Melmetal, weak to Lucario. Lapras, weak to Lucario, right? And so don't do Lucario versus, like, don't fight it out. It's a stupid idea, okay? That's the whole point of this. Now, honestly, like, I should have lost this, but he didn't have Rock Slide. Now, for the second match, what I wanted to do was swap the flow and also get a more solid anti-Lucario, or like a Lucario bodyguard. And Water Gun Lapras is a fantastic bodyguard for Lucario. It's kind of like a budget Bastiodon, but not really, because it does have its matches, alright? It has some advantages, so it's kind of like a side grade, alright? And also, since it's very tanky, very dependable Pokemon, you're not gonna need to dump the shields. Alright, let's see how we do. So we start the match off with Lapras versus Skarmory, and this is fantastic because his flyer, his anti-Lucario Pokemon, is now fighting with our bodyguard. Okay, and Lapras is gonna be able to do a lot of damage to Skarmory, setting up another sweeper that we have on our team, Altaria. And then Altaria is gonna be able to bring out his anti-flyer, which, you know, we can set up on with Lucario. Watch. Okay, it's confusing, yes, but watch this. So I burned both shields. I didn't use any shields on Lapras, right? And now, my Altaria is gonna take out his Skarmory. Alright? He's gonna bring out whatever he has to, you know, beat out the flyer, which is Frost Breath Lapras. We already know that he has this, okay? And then we swap to Lucario, and now Lucario is able to set up. He's forced to swap to another Pokemon that might be able to handle Lucario, but the thing is, I already set up. And so, we have our sweeper sweeping the team. Now, before we move on to the next battle, let's talk about that pretty sweet sweep, okay? There's 3 important points that I want you to remember. 1, your Lucario, if you're able to set it up with just a little bit of energy, okay? Just a teeny tiny bit of energy. Whatever swaps in to counter you or to like fight you, you might be able to dominate it. Especially if you get the Hail Mary Shadow Ball. If you get a Shadow Ball on Alolan Marowak or Blastburn Charizard, okay? And that's why Lucario is such a dominant sweeping force in the Kingdom Cup. Don't rush your charge moves, alright? Second important thing is that the shield priority was not on the anti-flyer, was not on my Lapras. My Lapras was there to bust the shield so that my Lucario could sweep. If it was Bastiodon, you know, honestly, like even if I didn't shield, he probably would have killed Skarmory. So, okay, but yeah, since I was using Lapras. But don't shield Bastiodon, don't shield Lapras. Focus on your sweepers, Altaria and Lucario. Now, the third important point is that bringing your flyer not only lets you cover the Lucario of your opponent so that you don't have to do that Lucario versus Lucario idiotic fight, it's also very important to draw out the things that you can set up on with your Lucario. Alright? Think about it. Moving on to the next battle. The thing is, I'm fighting with the same guy. And so to throw him off, what I did was I swapped Altaria to Skarmory, and I also swapped the flow. I started with the flyer this time, and the reason why I swapped to Skarmory is because he has Frost Breath Lapras. So this is a completely, this move right here is just to throw him off, okay? Skarmory in the Kingdom Cup is not as good as Altaria, is not as good as Charizard, is not as good as Alolan Marowak. And so, you know, he's kind of like last pick for the flyers, but he does have his matchups, alright? Let's see how we do. Now, the reason why Skarmory is a lesser anti-Lucario Pokemon in the Kingdom Cup is because there's no grass types, okay? The reason why he was so awesome before is because there were grass types for him to farm up, alright? And in the Boulder Cup, I honestly wouldn't know. I didn't get into PvP. I wasn't into PvP back then. I wasn't even playing Pokemon Go back then, but, you know, for Tempest, that's why he was awesome. And that's why he's a lesser anti-Lucario for the Kingdom Cup, right? He does the job not as good as Charizard, not as good as Alolan Marowak and Altaria. So, you know, he's kind of like last pick. Also Bronzong. But anyways, in this matchup, I did get that favorable lead because I predicted correctly. He was thinking Altaria, Altaria, Altaria. He brings in Alolan Ninetales. There I am with Skarm. Okay, so swap that flow, okay? But he did do something very important, and that is set up my Lapras here, which I didn't mean to shield. That was an accident. Set up my Lapras here for the sweep. Okay, watch this. Surf, alright? No more shields. Alright, I didn't shield Skarm at all. And Altaria here, come on, am I right? Predicted, okay. So we got pretty lucky last match with the prediction. Nice one, alright. Now we're gonna swap that flow once again, okay? Your opponent thinks you're over here, but you're actually over here, and you're like, what's up? Okay? We're gonna keep it rolling, we're gonna keep our opponent guessing, and we're gonna lead with Lucario. Now let me give you some cheats, okay? Just one important cheat. Lucario versus Altaria. If ever you encounter Altaria, because people do like to lead with Altaria, right? Fight it out. If you have a good PvP IV Lucario, alright? Even though Altaria is a Lucario counter. If you have a good PvP IV Lucario, if you don't have one, just don't do it, okay? But if you do, fight it out. You're gonna beat Altaria with just a teeny, like a tiny amount of HP left. But you do get that one counter on the next Pokemon, and your counters are gonna be powered up, maybe like 1 or 2 times, okay? And then you get that favorable switch in. If you don't have a good PvP IV Lucario, swap out. Okay? But anyways, Let's see how we do. So we start off with the blue version of Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog, and he starts off with Melmetal, which was a good idea, which was a fantastic idea because, you know, Skarmory, Lapras, you know, he's got the Thunder. He had the right idea, but unfortunately, because I swapped the flow, I caught him. Okay, so he's not gonna be able to capitalize on that. He swaps to Alolan Marowak, and now I've got Water Gun Lapras out, and it's gonna set it up for the sweep because I am gonna bust the shields. I'm not gonna shield a single thing. Hell no. Hell no. I'm saving all the shields for Lucario. Okay, so I take that out. He does have one more shield, but I do get off this. One more surf, and it's gonna bust that last shield, and now we're set up. We're set. I'm not gonna shield a single thing. We're good. Okay, we're gonna dump the shields on Lucario. We're gonna throw a power-up punch on this naked Melmetal, and now we're set up. And his last Pokemon is Lucario, but it doesn't have any shields. And a shieldless Lucario is a dead one. Now moving on to the next battle. Now the guy that I'm fighting is still the same guy, and I forgot to mention this at the start of the video, but he's no joke. He got second place in our Tempest Cup, so you know he knows what he's doing. I feel like I just feel like this was a bad night for him. You know, sometimes you have like those bad nights where nothing goes right. But you know, it is what it is. So I've been thinking a lot about Waterfall Kingdra, and I was thinking, you know, it may be time to test it out. Alright, let's test out the Waterfall Kingdra. Now, the concept of using Waterfall Kingdra is to bust the shields, use him as the lead, and he'll take out quite a lot of Pokemon. So I've got Lucario in the back, which is not gonna be good for Lucario because he's gonna be shieldless, and a shieldless Lucario is a dead Lucario. Okay? And in the back, we've got Blastburn Charizard, another one that I wanted to test out. Whatever, right? Let's see how we do. Alright, so we start the match off with Waterfall Kingdra. And he starts the match off with Waterfall Kingdra. Let's talk about this, alright? He had the right idea. If I led with Skarmory, Waterfall Kingdra can take that out. If I led with Lucario, Waterfall Kingdra can take that out. Alright, so he had the right idea. He definitely had the right idea. And you're gonna see, like, in this matchup that he was trying to set up to fight my older team. But, alright. Anyways, he does have Outrage. I've got Blizzard. The reason why I have Blizzard and not Outrage is because I don't want to spend the Charge TM. I just wanted to, like, test it out. Alright? Okay, so this is kind of, like, not a good test for Waterfall Kingdra. But anyways, his Waterfall Kingdra takes out mine because he has Outrage. And then I pull out Lucario. Okay, he swaps in Alolan Marowak, so obviously like he's got the best anti-Lucario Pokemon in the metagame. I swap in Charizard, and Charizard can take Bone Clubs. It's all good as long as I don't get hit with a Shadow Claw. It's all good. Now I don't know why he didn't use Shadow. Did I say Shadow Claw? Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball. Okay, I don't know why he didn't use it because if he did, it would have killed me. All right, maybe he didn't have it at the time. I don't really know. And his last Pokemon is Sealeo, right? So if you think about it, Kingdra can take out Skarmory. Sealeo can take out Lapras. So he was like gearing up to fight my old team. But, you know, it is what it is. Guys, this last match is going to be the best example of a Lucario sweep. You're gonna want to watch this, okay? This is like the best one that I did like this whole night. Plus, I was thinking at the time, okay, I want complete domination. Let's end this night with no losses. I need my Lucario bodyguard. So I'm bringing back Lapras. Lapras, fantastic bodyguard. Plus, I didn't have Bastiodon at the time, so Lapras, okay? And then, you know, Charizard did pretty well last match. You know, that Blast Burn does a lot of damage. You know what I'm talking about? So bring him back, okay? He was doing okay. Plus, he can handle Alolan Marowak. Plus, I was thinking his Alolan Marowak might not even have Shadow Ball because if it did, my Charizard would have been dead last match. But, okay. And we're leading again with Lucario, okay? This is gonna be the best sweep that I did like this whole night. So, let's see how we do. So we're gonna start off with a very familiar situation. Okay, you see this? You already know this. Best counter, alright? Bodyguard, you already know this, but something different happens. He is going to dump his shields on the Alolan Marowak. Alright, so there we go. Blocks that, great, beautiful. I'm gonna take Bone Clubs, it's all good. Lapras, fantastic. Just, alright, keep it going. Hit me with all the Bone Clubs you... keep them coming, okay? he burned both shields. And now, I'm thinking, it's time to set up. It's time to set up. I'm gonna block that and get that tiny bit of energy that I need to Hail Mary Shadow Ball his naked Lucario. Again, naked Lucario, dead Lucario, and his last Pokemon is Melmetal. And that is the best sweep that I did that whole entire night. And so, to summarize, get that tiny bit of energy, just a tiny bit of energy, and don't rush your charge moves, okay? Dump the shields on Lucario, alright? Team Comp, have a flyer, have a bodyguard. There you go. Okay, I hope you learned a lot. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Remember to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, maybe ding that notification bell, leave me comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys!